Hi everyone, Thomas here with Green Pages. Just going to go through our weekly update. I am going to offer some ways for everyone to participate, from light lifts to heavy lifts, or heavier lifts. Obviously, we don't want all of this to be fun, and then also go through some decisions that will hopefully be done in the next week regarding maybe the more like practical side of this magazine in terms of like making it. So first I want to share my screen and show everyone the Figma, the lovely Figma. So this is kind of where home base is for all of us. And I'll start with the style guide and specs of the magazine. So here on this, you'll see the whole page, but on this top row is kind of where you can see where we're establishing like the feel of the magazine. You know, so there's a big difference between like writing and advertising, because advertising is paid space. So everyone can, or our advertisers or clients or whatever, can figure or make their, they can do what they want with the space because they're paying for it. But in terms of like the writing guidelines and this mood board, this is like maybe more where Green Pages is coming from for kind of article content. So if you're trying to kind of find your footing in the magazine, I would start here. Please just DM me your email so I can share this Figma document with you. If you don't have a Figma account, you can get an education license for free. They do not check your credentials. And yeah, just a nice tip. This brings me to the style guide, where you can find kind of the dimensions for the ads and whatnot. So I think we should continue working off of these dimensions, but had a chat with Patrick Pittman yesterday, who helped, or who I guess played a very large role in creating the manual of design fiction. So a bookmaker, and I guess he was kind of just talking to me about, how I could better make the decisions around size. So I was just kind of chose variety's dimensions because I really liked them, but they're quite large, and not a lot of printers can like accommodate the sizing. So we might be going a little bit smaller. I got to do some research of, playing around with magazines, and also I guess figuring out the like practical sides of this, like what are some non-negotiables in the printing that Green Pages really just needs, and how many copies or editions of Green Pages do we want to print? So figuring that out this week on my end, so that if you do want to make a full page ad, the sizing will change. So I apologize for that, but I wouldn't let that stop you, because I think those changes are easy to deal with. And then if you continue going to the right, you'll see archetypes. So this is kind of a going list of ads that I pulled from other magazines, like the like Cinefex, and the American Society, the AFC has a magazine as well, and I sort of pulled some ads from there. But if you're looking to get your footing in Green Pages, that's a great place to go. The communal workspace is a communal workspace. The classifieds workshop is where we do our kind of classifieds thing on Tuesdays, to build out our ideas. And then here's in progress. So this is a place where we can all do kind of a light lift of editing, where you kind of just see what we have in the ad space and add notes. So they're all kind of general right now, because a lot of them, I think this is a great place for us to like put questions and, offer advice, or thoughts about how our ads can improve. So, you can kind of like put your notes on the right and then look at the ads and yeah, I mean, I think where we're at right now in terms of progress is we're gonna get enough full page ads. The things we need to kind of work on are the full spread and the half page. Um, one way of working that I think is legitimate is to just make a full page ad or make a full spread, and then we can make it smaller as needed. Um, I've just kind of found it easier to work in the full page way, but you know, kind of up to you. The most important thing is that things are getting made. So ideally, we would have drafts of every page by the end of June. I know that that's not necessarily possible. We all have jobs and lives that need tending to. But I'm just going to throw that goal out there, and we can meet it as we can. I'm going to build out kind of a similar way to add notes or thoughts to articles as well. Really excited for um, some new articles that are getting written for the magazine. And yeah, so the rest of this video is just going to be um, a recording of the meeting that we had yesterday. Uh, so we'll cut to that soon. But yeah, if you have any questions, please DM me, or just put it in the overall chat. I'm happy to figure out ways for people to get involved. Hopefully, if you don't have a lot of time, like checking out these ads and adding comments is actually just super duper helpful. And I've also started a list of like ads that you can make. I really want someone to make a new ad for like, you wouldn't steal a car, so would you steal a DVD? That seems like a fun one to make. So I'll post that in the chat. Anyways, I will see everyone next week or earlier. If you want to meet, let me know and we can set up a time. Recap of the meeting or recording of the good parts of the meeting is next. Thanks. Hello.
Hello.
I can't hear you. Okay, now I
Yeah,
can.
I was,
Oh, I thought you put on your like looped video again.
I, I need to figure that thing out or not. Um,
Yeah.
cool. I am, I'm, uh, I'm still at the, I have ideas and and most of my kinetic time has been, I should say it's like helping Jed finish the
Yeah, for
sheet.
sure.
But I, technically speaking, I haven't been like, I haven't caught up on my sheep and also all the logistics for these new drops. Those aren't excuses. I'm just saying what's going on. But
Well, I guess what I was gonna try and do, and I'm gonna do this in update, the video update, but maybe I'll just share my screen. I kind of want to like build this out a little bit more. I'm definitely like learning about organizing myself in this
Mhm.
process, which has been good. But I have this kind
I
of
can't talk to Jed. I'm just curious.
I want to set up that meeting this
Okay.
week.
Okay.
But in terms of just like actual outputs, uh, I have this page now in the Figma called in progress.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I just have like little things that we could work on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not like even if you're like, oh, I want to do something for green pages, but like don't necessarily want to like workshop a whole idea.
Mm-hmm.
Just like little things like getting the resizing Augie's thing to
Yeah.
the new dimensions of the magazine, or I don't know, like the Volvo one I think is correct or like in the right new dimensions, but
Yeah.
like
The
And I think
text.
it's, yeah, just like, oh, I want to revisit that. These ones we haven't really talked about in a while,
Yep.
but
I got
you know,
also I got a bunch of, actually maybe I have done a little bit accidentally. I did um okay, I like that. So maybe like these things. Um can I share screen a second?
yeah. Let me stop.
Uh, share screen. Where is it? Discord. Share. So like these things started coming out of Midjourney. I don't know what they are.
Yeah, I was thinking that you could have a lot of fun with the for sale page in the classifieds.
Yep, there's that. Like what the heck is this?
It looks like a, something where you would download the images from your TV, like you hook that up. That's what first comes to mind for me.
Yeah. Um yeah. Okay. Well, uh
That's cool.
this thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like maybe there's an ad for what was it? The Voight Kampf machine, like Model 2. Just like a little bit of a nod to do Android's Dream of Electric Sheep without over indexing on it.
Hmm.
It's just maybe it's just even just the name of the company, and a description, but without even mentioning androids. I don't know. It's just they're also in the business of making camera equipment. I mean, what do you expect?
Yeah. I think that, yeah. And then the other thing, just in general, that I was going to tell everyone is that we're actually like in good shape, sort of with the full page ad.
Hmm.
I think, we're like way closer to having enough of those, but we're behind, I'd say, in like half page stuff.
Yeah.
And, it's like, maybe it's like flesh out the full page ad and then
Yeah.
we'll,
That'd be
we,
good. That'd
we
be a good
can,
thing for like for a video update. Just
yeah, yeah,
give you
yeah.
we need. What what size are you at with the whole thing? What is the
So I
page
have,
page
there's a,
size?
there's a style guide specs. I chose pretty much the same as variety now. So like the larger,
Oh,
uh, so the full page ad, full bleed, which I think is what I want for all the
mm-hmm.
full page ads, would be 10.65 inches by 13.75 inches. And then in the Figma, there's like a style guide.
Okay. Do me a favor, or
Yeah.
do yourself a favor. Check that size on uh see if that size is available on
Well, it should be.
well, that's the thing.
I
Is
mean, because they just cut down the paper from.
well, no, I'm saying so well, we haven't decided what tooling we're going to use.
Oh, okay.
So it might be just easier for us to use like Mixam, right? Because they're
Mm.
kind of already set up, as opposed to going bespoke and finding a printer, or do we want to wait the like the 5 or 6 weeks it would take to get it printed in China if we're not going to do like tens of thousands of them.
Okay.
So check out mixum.com. I think they do they should have standard sizes, and they do have a thing where like you can, I think, where you can pay extra, which we don't want to do really, for a custom size. But just check, um, like they've got they've got lots of sizes, mixam.com, and then just kind of go to their magazine section,
Yeah, I'm on there.
because it might just be easier. We've used them, and actually we have a credit because they fucked something up before, um, which we can apply.
Okay. 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 Yeah, we'd have to go smaller for sure.
What's a standard magazine size?
Uh 6.69 by 10.24.
What kind of number is that?
I know.
Okay, so they got 6.69 by 9.61, 6.63 by 10.25.
I think that's the biggest. Oh, executive is 7 by 10. That feels a lot easier.
Try it out. Like cut some paper to
Yeah,
that
yeah,
and
yeah.
see how it goes in the hand.
Yeah, I mean, I picked up a variety and I was like, this is cool because it's big. So I do kind
Uh,
of want the
variety the broadsheet or is it
yeah.
which?
It's like my experience with variety. I mean, I don't know. It's not a broadsheet, I don't think.
Because
Um,
they used to have. I remember seeing people with it. Like it was like I know you're not talking about that, but like a big like a broadsheet, like a news. It was folded newspaper style, or
yeah,
not news.
no, they've I was like reading about it. They've shifted and now it's like a very large magazine, basically. So they print it on like, well, much larger than the standard. And then my experience with it is that uh like South by or Sundance, like they were just like at every coffee shop, kind of just like strewn about, but they were like really big and everyone was carrying them around because, and you could like see that they had variety because they were like bigger than
Yeah.
everything else.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, I'll experiment with paper this week.
Yeah. And
And
then if we do end up using them, then we gotta really ride hard on them to get the right paper because they basically they've
yeah,
got four different types.
satin, gloss,
Yeah.
uncoated. I don't think we need to.
And just all that stuff and the weight and those kinds of things. So the other way is actually we should propose kind of go see what it would take with Mixum, then send a request for quote to my guy in my guy who did these other three books,
Yeah,
just to kind of run the numbers and just figure it out.
that's
Mixum's probably
why I should talk to Jed, really,
uh
because in some
he'll
ways
know
he'll
the spreadsheet
have,
stuff. He won't know the printing stuff.
yeah, but I guess like how to calculate or understand the pros and cons more deeply. Um,
The other person to talk to is Patrick, Patrick Pittman.
okay,
Uh, he's actually a magazine guy. Actually, maybe let me see if I can just see if he's available real quick.
I want to see what. I mean, they can't even print it at what size I would want. I mean, it's not that much more expensive to do custom.
Okay.
It's like $60 more
And so the thing you want to you
for
think
1,000 copies. I
yeah.
don't know. I
So
just put 1,000. That's the other. I mean, I'm coming at it with like not really knowing what the amount, like how many it makes sense to print. Like
right.
so
Yeah. It depends on how hard you want to grind on getting them moving. Um, and the thing is that where Jed will be able to help is like in making decisions about where to print is that unless the margin is like 8 to 10x, it's probably not worth our trouble.
okay.
That's the number, or greater.
This is going to be great. I'm going to learn how to be a business person.
This is it, man. This is where the
Yeah.
value. This is
No,
this is where
I was talking to my dad about it. I was like, this is actually very important, and this is like way better than
oh
any you know, getting coffee for whoever and
hell
like
yeah, hell yeah.
pretending like I'm shadowing someone and it's important and whatever. I don't know.
Well,
It's
yeah,
like
that's
this is
it.
good.
That's it. This is how you figure shit out. It's like you do shit.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, try to find time for Jed, and if Patrick can't pop in now, also just try to grab 15 minutes with Patrick, because he's also part. There's another Discord called Stacks that is it's just magazine people,
Okay.
independent mag people. It's not super active, um, but figuring out all that tooling and where
Yeah.
things get printed and all that kind of stuff. Oh my god, tree dropping. Cool.
Yeah. That sounds good. I'm definitely figuring out how to like. I had thought about it a lot last week, like just figuring out the balance of making stuff and more administrative stuff, I guess, or not administrative, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, cool. Okay, I'll schedule Patrick.
I'm fucking looking at that FX30.
I bought a new lens when you after our conversation.
Yeah. What'd you get?
I got this like old Soviet lens, the
Uh-huh.
Helios 44-2. It's like a I actually got two. If you I was on eBay and like won both auctions somehow. I just kind of screwed up. Uh
And what's your working body? What do you use? What do you shoot with?
uh I shoot with the Panasonic GH4.
Okay.
So and then if I'm like I got hired to do a photo gig last week, so I borrowed I had a 5D stolen
Mhm.
from me.
Oh, damn.
So I had like a photo gig last week, um, just like an event thing with this artist, Kene, and so I borrowed my friend's Nikon, which was nice. But I don't know. I just like it's like kind of like what you were talking about. It's like I know my way around the GH4, and even though it's like very old, it's just like I'm not ready for the trouble of figuring a bunch of stuff out for a new camera schedule. Do you have thoughts about any videos that you would want to make?
Yeah, totally. I was talking to my brother a bunch about it, or a little bit about it over the when I was back home. Um, I mean, it's sort of vague. It's more a vibe. Like there's a film uh, that that Zizek did, Slavoj Zizek, who's a philosopher, did with
Yeah.
yeah. So it was called there are a couple of them, but one of them is called like what is it?
The like kind of the newer one. Or is that one of
Is there
it's
a
a
newer one?
there was
What?
one maybe there was like a documentary about him that came out in the last like 10 years.
Okay, probably. So this
The
one this one's
Pervert's Guide to
ideology.
Ideology. Yeah.
That's one, and then there's another one, but the one I'm thinking about is one where he was like throwing himself into scenes from movies that he was kind of referring to. So he'd be like in Travis Bickle's shitbird single room occupancy room from Taxi Driver, or rowing the boat from The Birds, and doing his like
Yeah.
philosophical on and there was something about that, and then just about because it was fun and playful and weird, and also and because it wasn't fetishizing that so much as setting a scene for him describing his
His philosophy.
his
I,
philosophy. It was
yeah.
basically the same sentence over and over and over again, but then it becomes interesting, you
I
know.
think I've been
Or
kind of
maybe not interesting. It becomes like engaging, visually engaging. Like, "Oh, look at what's up with this guy. Look, he's in a scene from this, obscure Fellini film. Like they did the set design or the Jaws one, where he's like on the boat. My brother's like, did they CGI this? Like, no, I think it was all before this stuff. He's like, I feel like it's a practical effect. Like they actually ginned up, the boat or something happened. Forgot
I
something
think
close.
it's a very good foil of like making his like kind of absurd, very complicated ideas feel approachable. I had like a really cool professor in college that was all he was very into Zizek and would just like show him because he liked it. And it was way easier to watch him talk than it was to read what he writes.
Yeah,
Because he would
yeah.
do funny stuff like that. Where it was
He
like,
would do funny. He would do funny stuff like that. I think he's gone off the deep end lately, but
yeah, he's like
in
not healthy.
oh, is
Uh,
he not? Is he not healthy? Is that it? I thought it was like he was like
he-
becoming right wing.
well, he's always been a little.
He
It's
never
funny.
looked healthy
It's
for
it,
like the
it's
last like 20 years. He hasn't looked well. He's old too, 74. I guess that's
yeah,
not that old. I mean, it is old, but it's not like 98 or something.
yeah. I've definitely been. So you want to like do those types of videos, but maybe
Well,
am I reading like into doing
I
them
think
about design fiction, or is
no,
it?
no, sorry, about design fiction. So I think that like if there's a film, a little film to be made or a series of little films to be made, they are essentially they are essentially the book. Because
Uh-huh.
that's a platform that's already out there and a bunch of ideas that have only been represented in the form of a book. But I think there's another, just like The Pervert's Guide to Ideology is like his the way it's it's a it's a sublime object of ideology, which is like 30 years old or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that
Well,
right?
I feel like I would, you know, that would be fun to make.
I
Sounds
mean, you're gonna help me make it. I don't know if you
yeah.
know this.
I mean, I'm down, and honestly, it kind of feels in terms of like I don't think you've watched any of my like film stuff, but in terms of like setting up funny areas and like having that kind of vibe,
Mhm.
uh I don't know. I guess I've been like, especially through like Green Pages and stuff, I've been talking to like my old film partners more. And
Mhm.
like, I don't know. My friend Bennett has like a very good sense of like all the movies that I think Zizek placed himself in. And we have all of like the old fun lenses to sort of bring it to life, but not for a lot of money. And
Yeah.
I don't know. It would be fun. I think I'm gonna figure out a way to start making movies again. You know,
Yeah.
in a way. I don't know how, but that would be like a fun project to do it on, I guess is what I'm saying. And
Yeah.
I might be going to LA in August. I'm trying to figure it out.
Okay, well, if you are, then let's like figure it out.
Yeah,
Try to, just at least to experiment with something. Um, because I've been talking to Patrick about doing a kind of video series that is essentially teaching the book. That would be something that, um, and then also thinking like, are there other ways to do it that isn't just like a talking head? You know what I mean?
yeah.
So
We have to move past the masterclass archetype. You know,
yeah.
yeah,
So what would it be? Would it be like, like demonstrating the ideas in practical form? So
yeah,
like stealing a shot walking down a grocery, you know, aisle and having a weird design fiction product kind of in there, or like shelves of product. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up. What could be
Yeah.
ways to visually demonstrate this that is richer than so there's that stuff, and then there's also like I would just love to make little films that are like just vignettes of possible futures, kind of like building on in some ways like did you ever see the Curious Rituals film?
Mm-mm.
um that let's see if I can find it, that this is a film that Nicholas Nova uh kind of produced, commissioned when he was doing this residency at Art Center. It was, yeah, the film's in there, so it's just like a little, film.
Maybe I've seen that. I thought it was like you were talking about like a.
Um, so there are opportunities to do little things like that as well.
Cool. Yeah, we'll see.
Uh,
I don't know. I think getting to the point where I'm thinking that green pages is definitely gonna weave into my like thesis work.
hmm,
So that could also be a good excuse to go, or like not excuse, but reason to get out there. I don't know.
totally, totally. So 30 minutes, what should I do? I can work on resizing.
I
Um,
think I think that's sort of since we don't have the I need to feel those dimensions more. I didn't realize the mixum thing, so I think we can kind of ignore that for a bit.
okay.
It's I mean because it's easy enough to revisit. I guess started by the end of June. What I'm hoping for is to have as many like drafts of pages done,
Hmm.
like so I think all those ads are in a good enough place where uh it's not like you need to reinvent the wheel to make them usable in the magazine.
Yeah.
Um, and that's sort of what I'm focusing on is just like getting the ad far enough, and then in July we can like refine them. Um, Zach will write an article um, that I think will be fun for him, hopefully to write. We'll talk about it more later, but one of them will be. I kind of offered him two ideas based on stuff that he's already written,
Hmm.
and one of them is sort of like a sort of similar to what you did at Amida with the like annual report from the future, but
Hmm.
kind of like writing about a world where his company is like had the kind of 15-year impact and success, and like detailing how it happened, and then talking about like what is next. So
Yeah.
he kind of has an article right now that's talking about like what is next, and then it's like what is next happened, here is sort of how it happened, what's next after that. And it's
Yeah.
cool because it's from like a different angle, I think, of what we already have, or writing a review of a one of those live film experiences that we've sort of talked about in the general seminar, since he has all that experience doing the audio business.
Yeah.
uh that honestly was like very similar to I think what people were talking about, just with like so, without like the AI prompting person through like an AR system. So anyway, I think what I was hoping to do today was to kind of Dre and I had a good time last week drawing cards from the work kit and then just like spitballing ideas, and then those ideas can lead to classifieds but also lead to like bigger ads.
Yeah.
um, but they don't need to be like fully fleshed out. But instead of like everyone drawing their own, it was nice to kind of like have back and forth with Dre
Yeah.
to figure out like what we could make.
Yeah.
Because then it was like, oh, he was like, this feels like a classified, and I was like, this kind of feels like an ad. um, and then that's sort of how the stuff works. So is that
Sorry. So what? Sorry. Can you say that again? What would be good?
so I'm gonna draw cards, and then we'll just like spitball ideas for a classified for like 5 minutes, and
Yeah.
then um we can like both start writing a classified, and then just sort of like, if you're feeling it, you can finish it, or we can just draw another and just like get more ideas. So then uh basically my hope for Tuesday is to like generate as many ideas as I can. So then when I'm like trying to make stuff later this week, it's not, I don't have to like start from zero.
Yeah.
So I have listens,
Okay.
gamify,
Okay.
and alternative transportation.
Okay.
I need to get one of your camera set up so I can have this.
Oh yeah, with for the top down.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was Dre's setup. I'm slowly rebuilding my my setup. I moved to set up a desk over here.
How does alternative transportation fit into
Same again. Listens um,
gamify?
by all transportation. I'm just starting to write something.
Yeah, how's it going?
Okay. The Vanjie Brothers production support seeking operator with a print operators. Hold on. Let me share the screen so you can see this. Where is it? Where is it? There. Where did I do it? I did it here. Oops. Share. 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 Oh, I'm clicking the wrong thing. Share. Do you see that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Lavandry Brothers production support seeking operators for our VIP production shuttle service. Lavandry handles transportation across a plurality of vehicle types, including trad, VIP shuttle vans, 2x2s, vanity containers, micromobile sleds and one wheels, and cargo hoists/heaves. Must have fast twitch skills and remote piloted operated vehicle experience available for 24-hour shifts. 1 or 2 days per week is ideal. Must be accommodating and patient with VIP clients and production crews on location or in transit to locations. Discreet, personable, with high bandwidth fiber or SAT uplink. Only apply if you prefer work from home.
Nice. We took this in very different directions.
See what you got. Hold on. Let me unshare. I don't know what I don't know what direction I took it, but there it is.
Wait, what am I sharing? Okay, yeah. I said looking for someone experienced in 5D cinema setups. My child is turning 14 this week. She wants to do the Moana back on Kauai experience. We have 6 Quest Pro 8 headsets, but would like to do it set up with temporary tactile room and also XD autonomous platforms for movement. Her party needs to be the best party ever. Willing to pay extra for the game expansion if you have the ability to set it up.
Yeah, cool. I like it.
Yeah,
Because then you can imagine like another ad, which is for
totally.
the guy with the cargo van who can do this, just the independent guy. Or even my mind also went to, they had those, I don't know, I want to say it was like a whole container truck that was just a game room that people would drive around to people's parties.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I'm excited to revisit this one a little bit more. Um,
Let me put mine in. Where should I put it? I'll put it in green pages, or do we have a where do you want?
um, why don't we put them in let's put them in the chat so people
Okay.
see that we're making stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Where is it? Green pages. Just put it right in there, right?
Yeah, just drop it in. I just want to show people that we're
Yeah.
uh and then I'll copy and paste them into the Figma. That's easy. Nice. Yeah, exactly. There, and then you can start making ads, but it's nice because if you want to like go higher, deeper than the classified, just getting a
Yeah.
bunch of these made it a lot easier for me last week. I have a data center ad working. I'm just like working on the copy. And then I did one for the Nielsen ratings. Uh some more copy on that as well. But to everyone who watches the recording, it's a great, fun, easy way to contribute.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to do another?
Yeah.
Okay. We have mesmerizing,
Yeah.
unwind.
That creepy online kid.
Yeah. And desk and stuff.
Desk and stuff. Well, show that picture again. What was that one? I'm trying to remember. I barely remember that. Okay.
Ooh, we have a visitor.
Oh.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey,
How's it going?
Fine. Just arrived from work. It's super hot here.
Oh
oh
yeah.
wow. Yeah, you got your basketball jersey on.
Julian, on the right, I listened to the podcast with oh God, this super smart woman with the super complicated name
Yeah,
from
Delphina,
RCA.
Delphina's. I
Yeah,
can't remember.
right. Yeah, that was a stellar episode, man. I really liked it.
Oh, thanks for saying that. Thank you.
I really liked the whole Coachella of design practice part in the end as well.
That's right, the festival. Yeah. It was fun. It was fun talking to her. It was fun talking to her for sure. She
I
was
was
like, just kind of appeared when I did a couple of things for the RCA. Like she was the contact who kind of reached out to me, and I think it's just like one of her kind of tasks. And
Mhm.
and so I didn't really know her except through that. And then I was I don't know, like maybe I assumed naively like that she was like an administrator.
Mhm.
And then I looked up and I was like, oh fucking hell, like she's got a proper portfolio of work and she's got a PhD. So that's when I was like, hey, you got to come on the show. It's
Cool.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that was well worth it. I wrote it to Thomas already. I had a very interesting call with Mel yesterday,
Uh-huh.
who's working together with, how's he called, your friend, this guy who did the Minority Report concept stuff.
Yeah, Alex McDowell.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so we had a chat about the line, which was very it was very productive. Yeah, it was very
That's
good.
good. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you see I don't know how much you want to dive back in or like how you're feeling about it, but it definitely just from doing a little bit of the layout stuff, you have room to write
Yeah.
more if you want. But I don't, this isn't me saying you should write more. It's just
Yeah.
if that makes it easier, that's an option
Actually,
for
I
you.
think it does. For essays I wrote in the past, I often had the problem that I was supposed to include more stuff, but I shouldn't expand the length, and then you come into this stupid word-based optimization problem. So
Yeah, I think yeah,
yeah.
have fun, and like the more nuggets, the better. I think is
Yeah,
where I'm
exactly.
kind of like, especially since I don't know, it's very, very cool that you were able to do that meeting. So
I tried to get him to share some material, but I think he really has a strong NDA on it.
did he say?
Yeah. He said it's about to come out soon. What he did there.
Is it true that if you sign an NDA, you aren't allowed to say that you signed an NDA?
I think it depends on what actually is within the NDA. It's like a contract, and
I was always so proud when I signed NDAs, and I would tell everyone, I was like, I signed an NDA. I can't talk about it. Like, this is I signed an NDA. I'm doing
it
important work.
it becomes less exciting when you're working at an R&D
When
department, and
everything
there's
is
just
under an NDA.
and there's just like a huge sheet of like a pile of pre-signed NDAs for everybody who enters for the first time.
Yeah. So I guess we're just like kind of doing classifieds, but instead of like drawing cards for each person, I'm doing it like as a group. If you want to write, I don't know where you're at. Well, I know you're at your house, but proverbially where you're at. So which is nice because we like we just put it in the chat, but we drew cards, and like Julian had like a vastly different take on the cards than I did, but both of them could lead to other things. So And then I'm gonna do like one of those progress update videos where I'll go through kind of what we talked about earlier. Nothing's too like exciting, but maybe helpful. So right now we like just drew as you came in. The object is desk and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and then the action is unwind,
Mm-hmm.
and the attribute is mesmerizing. And then we'll just spend like 5 minutes thinking about it and then share what we've
And you're
got.
still at advertisings, right?
Yeah, classified
Yeah.
ads. But like honestly, you know, doesn't. I think at this point I was telling Julian it's just like nice on Tuesdays, I think, to just generate a lot of ideas. Just like sketches, and then, you know, if you're interested, or if I'm interested, or if whoever's interested to like bring it to a higher fidelity, then you can do that. So
it's a bit like the thing we chatted about with the gear review section.
Yeah,
think
totally. Like if you can figure out something for that, then because I think that could be kind of like what you sent with that bike reference page, where it's like 10 things, but like 150 words each, 200 words, but like with a photo and like maybe a little more in depth.
The way I just started to, I will start a guerrilla design fiction group at the RE now.
Oh yes. What does that mean? What does that look like?
It's actually super simple. It's just one of the more creative guys. We hang out in a pub on Saturday, and then we came up with, in the past, somebody always did some stickers, you know, like just some simple stickers, and it was always a bit of a game because it's not officially like certified by our marketing department, so it's more like an underground thing. And then they happen to pop up at the fairs, you know, like like on Cinegear and so on. And then all of a sudden, they are everywhere in rentals and on the cameras of people shooting movies and so on. And so we said we need to do this again. And then we came up with the idea that it would be fun to make a set of stickers that is related to Airy, but also is, it's kind of speculative in its scope. So it will be some stuff that did not, like the stickers are referring to things or products that actually don't exist or did not yet exist. So yeah, I think it will be a funny mix of fan fiction and getting on the nerves of our marketing department. I shouldn't say that on record, I guess.
I can edit it out.
Yeah, that's the plan. Let's see. Because I did a T-shirt for, you know, Alexa 35 when it came out, the latest camera from Airy. We did so there's like the official T-shirt from marketing, which is okay-ish, and then we did a really cool T-shirt with an illustration from a guy from Australia, and I designed the T-shirt with this illustration, but I did not use the official company font because I just forget about it. And this is the one that everybody in R&D department got who was participating at the project. And now I'm cooperating with some companies which are also fans, and they say, we want to have this T-shirt. And I'm like, yeah, I would like to hand it out to you, but I'm getting killed. Yeah. Okay, so mesmerizing, unwind, desk and stuff, right?
Yeah. Okay, I'll set like a 5-minute timer, and yeah.
think I have to mute myself. There's my dog chewing on his bone in the back.
Okay, well, I think it's share time.
Can I share first? Because I got a call like right now.
Yeah.
I'll just read. For sale, Candy Apple Red 12-inch Honeywell Entertainment Table Reader with the MPN accessory 8K Holo Visualizer. Read back and read through of most DRM, non-DRM, algo writer, and flat page scripts and scenes. Provides a superlative experience for solo or zero-party scene evaluations.
Nice.
I don't know what it is, but I feel like it's something that's gonna do table. I don't know. It's I don't know.
It's a thing. It's a thing now.
It's a thing.
I don't know. I went also a different direction. I don't know if I didn't write a classified. I wrote like a half-page ad. And Julian, you can feel free to leave if you got it.
I gotta bounce because I gotta
Okay.
use. Sorry, fellas. But
No
shove
worries.
your throw. See what you came up with.
Yeah. I came up with a piece of chiropractic equipment for filmmakers called the plot twist. Because you're sitting at a desk all day. So they say, we know how hard making films is on the body, sitting in front of a screen all day, collaborating with MLs and humans across the globe. Buy a plot twist to change the course of your day. The plot twist targets the vertebra most affected by constant sitting and also helps release the mind to make your work days at the desk more productive than ever.
That's
So
amazing.
I'm very excited to mid-journey this piece of adult massage equipment.
It sounds like some expander. But I love it. You could expand it probably.
Yeah,
There could be it could be something like some workout equipment, but mixed with something from storytelling theory. This is like the need, and this is the want. So you have to pull the need up, and then
it'll help you climb the
this
mountain
is when
into
the
act.
catharsis. This is when the catharsis hits you. It could be like a whole set of workout equipment. I love it. Yeah. I think I'm a bit empty in my head. I just came up with some kind of hypnotizing cable guide, but this was the first thing because you unwind things, and you have this, but it's not a real thing. It's just a thought. This there is this thing when you have cables, like you have a lot of cables when you're working with cameras and so on, and you have a some box you put them in, and they are completely stored completely neatly.
Yeah.
And then months later you put them out and they are all intertwined with each other, and so I always wondered what would happen if you have some kind of wildlife monitoring camera monitoring these cables, and then you hit fast forward, because then they would mesmerizingly unwind.
Yeah. Hey, Patrick.
Hey, how you doing? Julian said
Hi.
you had some magazine questions.
Yeah. I mean, I'm very new to printing magazines. So I don't know if I don't have them totally well versed in my head,
That's
but I
fine.
think, I guess originally, so we're doing Green Pages, which is like a magazine about the future of film, or like a magazine from the future of film. So originally I kind of wanted to do basically what Variety is doing now. I think their page dimensions are like 13.5 inches by 10.5 inches. So which is bigger than anything that like Mixum would accommodate.
Is it like a glossy newspaper sort of form almost, Variety, or is it more magazine? It's been a while since I've seen it.
It's more magazine-y now. They shifted maybe in the last 10 years to like a like a 60. It's not a big long magazine,
Mhm.
but it's just like they kind of took that broadsheet theme
Mm.
forward, but just made it like a magazine that's bigger than every other magazine.
Yeah. Mhm.
And yeah, I feel like they don't use like newspaper paper, but
Mm.
they use something. I feel like that's like a little bit, it's not full gloss by any means.
It's still quite thin.
Yeah. I think mine's I
Super.
have one at school, but not with me right now. But anyways, I think I'm trying to figure out, I guess I need to figure out how many we want to print.
Mhm.
It doesn't really make sense to, the amount, I guess, determines whether it makes sense to go to like a printer who could like cut the sheet sizes from the full piece.
Mhm.
And then I guess I don't know if we're there yet. I'm also just like trying to learn how to like organize things.
Yeah, totally. I mean, yeah, I can sort of answer questions now, but can also guide you when you have a bit of a better idea as well. But I mean, the basics. Have you looked at the things Newspaper Club offer that aren't the standard newspaper model, or do you know of Newspaper Club?
I do know of the newspaper club. So maybe hunt around to see because I would like to have that bigger size.
Yeah, so they do like the tabloid size, but you can get like you can get some different finishes as well. Because I mean, the thing about newspaper size and those really thin stocks, if you want those, you can't really print those at even your average magazine printer, because that's the paper that comes on the giant rolls that basically, even by the time you pull the lever down and put it back, you've printed 10,000 of them, sort of thing. And so to do newsprint properly, like, is really, unless like Newspaper Club's about the only way to do that outside of large quantities of it, right?
Okay.
So
I guess I was hoping for not necessarily like not a newspaper, like just the same kinds of paper that a magazine would use, but just cut to a larger size.
Yeah. So I mean, that's possible for sure. And there's a few different sort of printers you might use for it. An interesting person to talk to, there's a guy who's here in Toronto but does a lot of work in the US, specifically on digital print projects, but like really kind of next generation stuff on that. So he can do like 10 copies of very interesting stuff versus doing, you probably would be starting at 500 at least, if to 1,000, going to a real printer for it. At least 500, but the economies of scale on the magazine sort of projects tends to be somewhere between 500 to 2,000. It is sort of the same, and then it sort of, from there you don't get a lot of economy of scale with it really, but it's that kind of thing. But with him, you can do really nice shorter run kind of things as well, and he can do, I can't remember what he said the largest size you could do is, but you could ask him. I can give you his details if you want, or later I could introduce you. Do you have an idea in your head of, if there were no constraints other than logically how many of them you want to have, like what would a quantity be?
Yeah, I guess I think I'm meeting with someone later this week about like basically how many it would make sense to print to
Mhm.
like make a proper amount of money on
Mhm.
this, or like what I guess like what that should look like.
Yeah.
And so I think once I determine or have a better understanding of like the finances of this, or like how the money would work, then I would have a better idea of how many we would want to print.
Yeah.
I think, and it's also like one of those things where like if we do a run of 100, then it kind of does need to be on like, I feel like that sort of determines the kind of paper I would want to use and stuff like that. If
Mm.
it's to like kind of make it feel more, I guess the point of the book, the magazine itself is meant to like feel very special.
Yeah.
That's kind of why I wanted the larger size. I think there are other ways that we can accomplish that,
Yeah.
but I did kind of want it to feel, like something, it's basically something where, a studio executive is like waiting to pounce on buying it
Mhm.
when it comes out.
Yeah.
Um,
So even within the archetype of the thing, it's meant to feel like a high-end item. It's not meant to feel like a throwaway. Like,
yeah.
that's the, okay.
Yeah, and when people would buy it in real life, I would like them to kind of like keep it around.
Mhm.
I don't like, my dad likes golf, and so he like buys the golfer's journal. I don't know
Yeah.
if you've seen those.
Um,
Yeah.
I have, because I helped a guy start a high-end golf magazine a couple of years ago. He had big piles of the fancy things that they like to buy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
There's
think.
like that, and there's like the surfer's journal as
Mhm.
well, and those are both like, they're like editions, and people will like keep every volume of it.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be something, I think, that would have like a really thick uncoated stock, right? Like it would still feel like sort of like a working kind of thing. Like, yeah,
Yeah, like semi-gloss, maybe not.
yeah, like a satin is what you would call that. Just trying to. No, I think, yeah. So that basically, yeah. The question is, do you imagine this being something you would do 500 of, or something you would do 50 to 100 of? And then based on that, I can help point you in a few different directions to get some quotes and think about some specs and that sort of stuff. But
Okay.
there's a few different paths.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that's good. It's good to know that question, and I think I can kind of figure out an answer. I mean, I personally, I would like to work with a printer.
Mhm.
I like just kind of, I'm in school and I had a bookmaking class, and it was like fun to sort of do that.
Mhm.
But I don't know, mix them feels like just sort of less cool.
Yeah, it's not cool. And, like, honestly, like with the AV mag we made, like the compromises we made there to just do it that way, like we didn't get the right stock that we wanted for it. Like the physical feel of it isn't like I'm happy with it, but also I know it could have been better, like if we'd invested a bit more in a proper print for it. Like we never could have. The point of that was it was supposed to feel cheap and mass produced, and for the reasons I was talking about before, like we never could have accessed the kinds of printers that do print, like Costco Connection and stuff like that, because we didn't want to print 100,000 of them. But I still think we could have gotten closer to it by
yeah.
working with a small printer.
Okay. Yeah. I think I need to think a little bit more about like the concept of the magazine, because maybe it does like make sense to print just like 100 of them, but make them like a very good 100. I guess the question I have is like, well, I feel like I have a better chance of working with the printer if we print more.
With an offset printer, yes, but there is this sort of middle ground of a high-end digital printer. They use so the HB Indigo presses, which are kind of print on demand, and they have a bit of a bad reputation sometimes because sometimes print shops buy them and churn out shit with them, right? But there are a few printers around that do really amazing kind of stuff with them. Like this book here is one that we made years ago with this guy, and it's like, you know, it's sort of, you know, full proper, feels like a book, walks like a book, quacks like a book. That's the sort of stuff, like he is very good at that kind of relationship of that I want to make 100 really beautiful things, and he'll get excited about that. And he can even do like foiling and finishing and that kind of stuff with them. So that's an option where I think the best way would be to just talk to him and be like, this is sort of where I'm going, and he might have some ideas and possibilities in that for that middle ground kind of thing. I will say it is always more fun to work with a proper offset printer, but there is that kind of other option too.
Yeah. Okay, so like, I guess leaving this, what do you think, like the most important question I should answer in like about that would like help narrow down the printing options?
Yeah, I would just ask yourself that the most important question is given the absence of all other practical constraints, what would the right amount of these existing in the world be?
Okay.
If you can answer that, and then the second thing is, I suppose, what are the non-negotiable aspects of the physical form of it? That being page count, size, color, like is it full color throughout? Is it not? You know, those sorts of things. Like, what are your have-to-haves in terms of that? So if you could list those out, and if we have that alongside the quantity, then we can figure out what the right way to go is.
Okay.
Budget's obviously an important one as well, but that we work out backwards from those, I think.
Cool. Yeah, I don't kind of not sure what the budget.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll try to answer those, and then I guess I can message you on the.
Yeah, just ping me.
Okay, great.
Cool.
I really appreciate you popping in. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah.